Hey there guys, welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. This is Chetan here from DevilCube and welcome back to a brand new tutorial. This is my second Photoshop tutorial. The first one is called the 2D, how to create a 2D banner in a simple 2D banner in Photoshop. And today we're going to be learning to make something better and something fantastic. My friend called System, who is an amazing graphic designer on Twitter, makes a lot of designs, and I like one of his designs and I just wanted to show you how to make that design. I unfortunately can't show it to you now because I'm making it while I'm recording the video. If you guys want, you can go ahead and look at the thumbnail, or you can jump to the end of the video to have a look. So without further ado, let's get started with the tutorial, guys. So I'm going to be making it for Twitter. So that's going to be the dimensions are going to be so I'm just going to go to File, New. So it's going to be 1500 by 500, and I can set the resolution to 72. That's no big deal. If you guys want it for Facebook or YouTube, you can go ahead on Google and check that out, or I explained in detail in my first Photoshop tutorial that is create a simple 2D banner. You guys can check that out again. So let's get started. So I'm going to press Ctrl-0 on my keyboard to fit the canvas to the screen, and I'm just going to go ahead and double click on this background to make it editable. So now I can simply add in the color, and I'm going to go here and click on this button, which is going to make my foreground black and my background white, and I'm just going to double click over here and I'm going to choose a dark blue color. So something like that. Let's come over here, that's better, and I'm going to click on OK. Now you want to set the colors based on your logo. So I'm going to be using a logo, and my logo is red in color, so I'm going to be doing a reddish shade, but if you guys have and you guys can do whichever color you like. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is I want to grab some rulers. So I'm just going to press Ctrl-R, and I'm going to go ahead and move this ruler. Now if I move it slowly, I can see it's snapped to the center, and if you want it to snap, you can go to Window and you can choose View. Yeah, you want to click on Snap over here, and I'm going to do that okay, let's not do the top, let's just leave it like that. Okay, so once we have that, I'm going to go ahead and select the paint bucket tool, and I'm just going to click here, and that's going to fill this with this blue. I'm going to make it a little bit more darker, so let me just go and make it a little bit more darker, and a little bit more darker, something like that. And yeah, that's perfect, guys. That's fantastic. Okay, so pardon me if I seem a little confused, because I'm looking at the photo of the image on my phone while I'm recording it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we're going to go ahead and grab a shape tool. So we're going to go ahead and click on this tool, and here in the fill, I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm just going to go ahead and import my logo now. So this is going to be a good reference for me, so I can have a look at it. So I need this red color, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go keep this logo on the side. I'm not going to click on the shape tool, and I'm going to click here on the fill, and I'm going to go ahead and choose this color. So I'm going to press I, which gives me the eyedropper tool. I'm just going to click over here, which is going to copy that color data, and I'm going to go back to the shape tool, and now we have this fill ready. The stroke, we don't want any stroke, and I'm just going to go ahead and click there, and I'm going to make a simple, a decent thin red color line like that should do. And then I'm going to go and duplicate this layer, and I'm just going to go and move it with my arrow keys. If you're not able to move it, you need to make sure you're in the move tool, so you click on that, and I'm just going to come here and I'm going to click on this and change the color to something different. So I'm just going to click on that, and we should be able to pick a color. So I'm just going to click the lighter shade. I'm going to click on OK, and let's just make it a little bit more brighter. So yeah, that should do. Yeah, that's great. I think I'll stick to the original one. Oops. Let's go ahead and let's click here, and yep, that should do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press move the arrow keys to move these right beside each other, so we have something that looks like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go select my pen tool, which is this over here, and I'm going to go create a new layer, and I'm going to actually go press Control and the plus sign on my keyboard to zoom in. And I'm actually going to go grab another ruler. Yep, so that ruler is over there. I'm going to click on the pen tool, click over here, and I'm just going to go ahead and click over here, and just click it out. And I'm going to press Control Enter, which is going to make that into a selection. But before I do that, I actually want to go ahead and select these points, and I just want to move this up so it is covering the entire area. And now I'm going to go ahead and press Control Enter, which is going to make a selection, and I'm going to go to the fill, and I'm going to fill this with white. So I'm just going to go ahead and click over here and press Ctrl D to deselect, press Ctrl H to hide the rulers, and there we go, we have something that looks like this. But I think this is pretty too white, so I'm just actually going to go Control, so let me just go ahead and fill this up with a color overlay. I'm going to go to layer style and choose color overlay, and choose a not so white but a little bit white grayish color, not make it too bright to the eyes. So we have something like this, and that's extremely good. Now I'm going to go ahead and press Ctrl J on this, and that's going to duplicate it, and I'm going to press Ctrl T, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose flip vertical, and that's going to give me that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and press V on my keyboard, and I'm just going to move this to this side, and I'm going to press Ctrl T, which is going to help me rotate it, and I'm just going to go rotate it and move this to the side. Actually, let's just delete it and make a new layer. It's going to be easy for everybody. So I'm just going to go select the pen tool, press Ctrl H to get back the rulers. I'm going to click over here and over here and over here and back. Press Ctrl Enter. Press G on the keyboard to get the fill tool, and I'm going to fill this up, and I'm going to press Ctrl Z and Ctrl H, and that should do the trick. So yep, that's looking great. That's looking great. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and group all these together. So we're going to press the first layer, hold down shift, select the fourth layer, press Ctrl G, and I'm just going to go name this element 1. Okay, that's going to be our first element, and I'm going to press actually let's press Ctrl 0 to fit to the canvas. I'm just going to hide my logo over here, and I'm going to press Ctrl T, and I'm going to go rotate it, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and move this to the side over here. And as you can see over here, we have some issues. Do we have any issues? No, it's fine. Maybe you can go ahead and select these layers and move a little bit more inside. We're going to select these two layers and put them at the bottom. Let me just move this slightly a tad. Yep, okay, that's looking great. But let me just right click, choose copy layer style, and paste it on this one so it gets the same color. And then I'm going to select, press Ctrl T, and we are going to go ahead and hold down Shift Alt, and we're going to go expand it like that. And that should give us something similar that looks like this. And I can actually go and move these around just a tad. Yeah, that's look great. Move this one, and yeah, that's one. So that's looking good. That's looking great. So press Ctrl 0 to zoom back again, and maybe this is too thick, so I'm actually going to press Ctrl T, and I'm just going to go hold down Shift and Alt, and I'm going to shrink this down pretty high. Looking good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate that, and I'm just going to go move it to the side. So maybe we want something, you know, intersecting like that, and with this Ctrl T, and we can actually go ahead and increase this, make it fat. I'm going to delete the first one. I'm going to press Ctrl J, and we're going to move this one over here. Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking great. Maybe not such a big gap, a little slight gap. Somewhere around here, that's good. Okay, so once we do this, we can go ahead and select these two, press Ctrl J, and we can Ctrl T to transform, right click and choose flip horizontal, and we can just hold down Shift and drag these over to the side, and we can get an effect like this. So let's just go ahead and make it look almost proportional, because that's what we want. Actually a little bit more. I'm just eyeballing it and getting it done. So yeah, okay, so this is great. So we can go ahead with the next step. So what we're going to do is we're going to go grab the shape tool again, and this time we're going to get that white actually. So I'm just going to go and click here, and oops, and that's going to give me that white shade that we added. And I'm going to press Ctrl R to get rid of the rulers, Ctrl minus to zoom a little bit back, and we're going to go ahead and just create a nice small simple rectangle, not too thick, somewhere around here. That looks good. And I'm going to center it, so I'm going to press Ctrl A, and with the layer selected, I'm going to go up over here, and I'm just going to click here, and that's going to center it out pretty nice for me. I'm going to press Ctrl 0 to fit to the canvas, Ctrl D to deselect, and there we go. That is looking good. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some layer styles to this, but before that we can just add in our elements over here, and I'm going to add in my text first, my logo. So I'm going to go here, grab my logo, put it on top of everything, and that's looking good. And I'm actually going to go ahead and remove rasterize. I'm going to right click and choose rasterize layer, and I'm going to choose the magic selection tool and take out this white, which I don't want. I'm going to press Ctrl D, and that's going to remove that out. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a little simple stroke of blue. I'm sorry, actually, yeah, that's actually completely fine. So I'm going to press Ctrl and the plus sign to zoom in. So we're going to get something looking like that. And then what I want to do is I want to add, go ahead and add a stroke to this. So go ahead and add a black color stroke, or maybe a white color or a red color. I'm not quite sure about this. Maybe let's actually get that white stroke. Let's just Ctrl Z everything and Ctrl D. Yeah, this is looking better actually. But I'm just gonna go ahead and let me see. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I want only this color applied. So I'm just going to go ahead and select this, and I'm going to go and fill this up with this color so it matches this. That looks amazing. I'm just going to press Ctrl T and shrink this down, and I'm going to center this. So I'm going to press Ctrl A with the layer selected, and with the moves tool, I'm just going to click over here, and that's going to center that out for me. But maybe I'm going to move ahead and move this a little bit up to give it a nice feel, and that is looking good. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and select the first element that we have over here. Let me just press this Ctrl 0, and as you can see here, we have that element. I'm going to press Ctrl J, and I'm going to name this element small, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that forward. Okay, and I'm going to press Ctrl T, and I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down, like literally shrink it down a lot. Okay, and something like that. Just press Control and move forward, and somewhere over here I want to place this somewhere over here. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to add a little bit of black to this. So what I'm going to do is let's see what I'm going to do. It's going to be a little tough over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete these two white layers that we have. Delete that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and duplicate this layer that we have. So I'm going to press Ctrl J, and I'm going to go ahead and fill this with black. So I'm just going to go here to the color and set that to a dark black, or maybe the color of the, okay, let's set it to pure black. And I'm going to click away, and I'm just going to go move this to the side. Okay, so it aligns perfectly. Okay, so yep. Okay, and oh, looks like we gave it too far. Okay, and then we can go ahead and select these two layers, press Ctrl J to duplicate them, and we're going to move this above over here, and we can go ahead and place it right beside each other, and that looks great. And then once we have that, we can actually go ahead and we can press Ctrl T, and we can go ahead and expand this, so you know it you can place it up over here, and we can go actually expand this a lot. So let's go ahead and so that it fills up the whole thing. Is it too much? I don't know, guys. Rotate it such a way that you know everything is straight, and then increase this up. Okay, and then you can go ahead and move this to the side over here, and can place it over here. Maybe increase this down a little bit more and increase this up. Okay, and now once we have this, now as you can see here, there are a lot of gaps, so we can go and fix that. We just need to move everything. So go ahead and move this, and this is looking good. And with the other layer, yeah, there it is. Okay, okay, that looks great. And once we have that, we can go ahead and right click and choose merge group. That's going to make it to a single layer. And as you can see, this rectangle that we have over here, I'm just going to go ahead and click this button over here. So what I actually did is when you want to click Alt on your keyboard, and you want to come in between these two layers, and you can see this box and the arrow key. And what that's going to do is that is going to cut it only till you know the area of the rectangle that we have over here. just press Ctrl 0. We have something that looks like this, and I'm going to press Ctrl J, and I'm going to go ahead and select that layer. I'm going to go and oops, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to go ahead and move it to the side, put it over here, and I'm going to do the same, and that's going to fit it right over there. And I'm going to press Ctrl J again, press Ctrl T, right click, flip horizontal, and I'm going to go ahead and move this up over here. And let's press enter to apply the transformation. Hold on Alt till you get that, and press Ctrl J again, and move this thing over here in the middle, and hold on Alt and click, and there we go. That is looking great. That's looking great, guys. That's looking great. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and add in some drop shadow. So how do we add the drop shadow? So what we can do is we can go ahead and select this rectangle that we have over here, and I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to click on drop shadow, and as you can see here, it adds some drop shadow. And I'm going to go and set the opacity to 75, distance to 5, the spread to 20, and the size to 20, and set the angle to 0, and click on OK, and that is looking great. That gives you a good sense of depth. That is looking nice. A few more things we can go ahead and add is let's go ahead. Actually, I want to go ahead and okay, we're going to do that later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and select my logo, which I have over here. I'm going to press Ctrl J, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on it to get the layer styles. I'm going to go and choose a color overlay, and I'm going to go set this to a white color, pure white. And then I'm going to go ahead and press Ctrl T, and I'm going to scale it up pretty big to, you know, somewhere over here, and maybe move this up a little. Yeah. And I'm just going to click, and then I'm going to go ahead and move this back, like way back behind everything. Yep, that should do. Maybe move it behind everything. So yep, that's good. And then we can go ahead and reduce the opacity of this to say something like 10. Okay, and maybe I'm going to go ahead and set this to 5, maybe. I don't know. Actually, let's remove the layer style. So let's go and clear layer style, and then we can go and set the opacity to 10. Yeah, that is looking great. And maybe press Ctrl T, and you can go ahead and make this a little bit more bigger. Yeah, that is great. Beautiful. That's great. Maybe we'll reduce this to something like 7. Yeah, that's better. And then before we finish off, we're going to go ahead and grab a new layer. We want to select the first layer and grab a new layer by pressing this button over here, and that's going to create a new layer. And I'm going to go select the brush tool by pressing B on the keyboard, and we're going to go and set this to a pure white color. Actually, let's set it to the normal color. And I'm going to press the square bracket on the left and right square brackets to, you know, grow and increase the size of my brush. And you want to choose a soft brush, and oops, we can go ahead and just randomly over here, just, you know, go and tap, and that's going to create a nice light effect. And we're going to go and set reduce the opacity of this to 40%, or maybe reduce that down to say something 35. Yep, 35 looks great, and that is amazing. Now, before we finish off, a couple more things we want to do, which I wanted to do. So we have these first two elements that we have over here, right? So we want to go and select these two elements, and I'm going to press Ctrl T, and I'm going to rotate this even more. So, you know, it's more slanting, and I'm just going to go and move this up, right? Yep, that looks good. And I'm going to press Ctrl H to get my rulers back so I can eyeball it properly. I'm just going to get rid of the ruler. I'm going to select these two, press Ctrl T, and I'm going to rotate these, and press OK, and something like this. Is it almost right? Press Ctrl T, and maybe move this out a little bit more. Yeah, that's great. That's more like it. Okay, so we need to do and align these properly again. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and align that. So we're going to go select these two elements that we have here, plus Ctrl T, and we can just go ahead and eyeball it. We can press Ctrl T to expand it. Oops, okay, we got to do this individually. So select the first one. Oops, sorry about that. Select the first one, Ctrl T. You can go ahead and increase that, and we can go ahead and actually move this over here. And we can select the second one, press Ctrl T, go ahead and increase that, and we can move it up over here. Let's do the same thing for these two. Press Ctrl T and move this up to the side. Go ahead, that's great. Select this one, press Ctrl T. We can go ahead and rotate this and increase this up and move slightly here. So press Ctrl H and there we go, guys. That should do this for this tutorial. The only thing left is to add a little of your text over here. So you can just go ahead and select the text tool, click over here, and you can go ahead and type in anything you want. So that's pretty simple, so I'm not going to be actually explaining on how to do that. Actually, I want to go ahead and move this up to the end over here, right? Press Ctrl 0, yep, to the end over here, and select this one and move this up to this end over here, and move this one over here and select this one, and oops, we want that to be wherever that is. Go ahead and move this one over here, and yeah, there we go. So that's the end of this tutorial, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys learned something new, and hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and if you have any other questions or any requests, any other tutorial that you would like me to make, feel free to mention that in the comment section down below, and I will surely reply to that. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So till then, take care and bye.